This is a HeadGum podcast.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to A Funny Feeling Podcast. I'm Betsy Sidaro.
And I'm Marcy Jarrow. This is a podcast where comedians tell us their paranormal experiences, and we listen to yours as well.
Oh, yeah. And if you have one of these paranormal experiences that you want to share with us, please email it to us at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Now get cozy.
And prepare yourself to be scared silly.
This is a Funny Feeling Podcast.
Betsy.
Marcy.
You know what today is?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yes, I do. Listener Story Day.
We are going to try to get caught up on our backlog of amazing stories.
Marcy just coughed up a chicken bone.
It was a voodoo thing I was doing. So we have so many amazing listener stories because
Thank you
guys
for sending them.
are awesome. You send
We
them
love them.
Send them. Hey, send some more to funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, please keep sending them.
Send them
We
our
want
way.
to hear everything.
So, but we have so many. We're just going to spend this episode and we're going to listen to as many as we can get done.
Yes, we are.
Are you so excited to get
I'm
scared?
so pumped.
Should we just dig on
Let's
in?
dig in. I'm ready to fill up my pants with poop.
Well, you're going to love it. Let's get started. What shall we find?
Hi, Betsy and Marcy. My name's Lauren, and I love your show. On a recent episode, someone named Amanda called in with a really good story, and she said she was your number one fan, but I think that I want to be up there too. I've been a fan since before it was even a show. Like, I can remember hearing about it and refreshing Apple Podcasts every day because I was so excited, and you haven't let me down. And I was featured in episode 8, A Hag's Visit with Aubrey Plaza. I told a story about, it was my mother's ghost story. Actually, it was not my own. And that's kind of what I wanted to call you about. I've never seen a ghost, and I really want to. And I wonder if you have, like, tips on, like, how to see a ghost if, like, you've never seen one. Like, I went to Gettysburg College, which is the most haunted college in the world, and it was on Unsolved Mysteries. That's how you know. And, there were sightings fucking everywhere. Everyone's seeing shit all over the place. And I'm, like, running around, like, literally searching for the ghost. And I think the ghost must have been like... ignore her, she's too into us, you know what I mean? Like, they did not appear to me because they know that I want to see them, so they do not appear. And I just want to know if I'm doing something wrong. It doesn't seem fair. Anyway, my last note is just, I wanted to say, every time a story ends, I either say aloud or in my head, oh yeah, in my best Betsy voice, because that is always what she does, and it brings me so much joy. Thank you for such a wonderful show, and keep it up. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that's such a funny... Okay, I think I remember her story as being if you go back, go listen to Aubrey's episode if you haven't.
Episode.
But
Aubrey's
I think
the shit.
it was the one where her mom used to see a lady floating above her head, and then when she was like, oh my God, the lady is you. Like, it was her daughter. But it was, she had it before her daughter was born.
Fuck.
And she remembered, and then when her daughter grew up, she was like, oh my God, you were the
That's
lady.
Haunting of Hill House shit.
That is something.
Did you watch that?
Yes, I did. It was very scary.
Thank you for hitting us up.
Yes.
I don't know what to do for you.
So I think it
Maybe
is.
play with a Ouija board.
Okay, okay, that actually might be some good advice. So Lauren, thank you for sending us this email. But I think that, let's see, I always wanted to see ghosts, and I was like, God, when am I ever gonna do it? And it sort of is like falling in love. It happens when you least expect it, sort of. But I also will say I went to a bunch of psychics, and I think that maybe opened me
You
up.
started opening yourself up more to it.
Yes.
Even if before you were like, I want to see this.
Yes.
Maybe there was still something blocking
Exactly.
whether you knew it or not, mentally or physically.
Right. So
Okay.
so I started like, just seeing psychics and being more into it. I don't know like other good advice.
Maybe try do it like ghost hunting or like hitting up a local.
I really do think it is one of those things, like the more open you become and the more like ready to listen and experience something, that maybe it comes to you a little bit more.
Okay.
But it really...
But you also don't want to be too desperate.
Yes.
So maybe walk into a haunted house and be like, I don't fucking care.
Or I would
You
say like...
ghosts. I'm too cool, and smoke a cigarette and wear sunglasses. And then the ghost will be like, ooh, that's a bad girl.
She's so bad.
We gotta show ourselves to her.
What if like finding ghosts was like trying to like hook up with someone? If it's just like, just have a couple drinks at a bar and then maybe it'll happen.
Oh my God.
At a haunted bar.
Oh, there you go.
But I really do think, like, this just came to my mind. What if you just go to nature by yourself, leave the music, don't do any of that stuff.
Oh.
And just sit and see all the sights and sounds you can observe. And just start thinking about being an observer in a world.
Oh.
And instead of like all the things you have to say, think, and need,
Okay.
just take some stuff in and start practicing that and see if it makes your like senses a little more heightened to receiving stuff.
Okay.
Is that bad advice?
No,
I don't
that's
know.
Awesome. I didn't even know.
I just thought of it just now.
That's
so.
smart. That's smart.
Thanks. I'm smart.
Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for sending
I
that in.
hope you fucking see a ghost, and you gotta let us know when you do. You're gonna. I'll put it out there. You're gonna get so scared by a ghost.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You want to listen to another one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hi, ladies. I just wanted to start off by saying that I love your podcast. I listen to it all the time at work, and it really makes my day go so much better. So thank you for making my life just a little bit easier. I have a few stories for you. The first two, I'm not really sure if you would call them a coincidence, because things like this happen to me all the time. I'm not sure if it would be intuition or what the exact word for it is, but it does happen to me a lot. Not necessarily as intense as these two stories, but it does happen a lot. So I'm not really sure what you would call it. But a couple years ago, my grandmother had went into foster care after my grandfather had died. She was wanting to help kids, and she was also wanting to help herself because she was really lonely. So she had went into foster care, and this has been probably 7 or 8 years ago. And I was sitting at home one day, and there was some people that I had went to school with back in elementary school. And I was just wondering what they had been up to. So I wanted to look them up on Facebook and just see what they had been up to, that sort of thing. So I looked up the girl, and for privacy's sake, we'll say her name's Lauren. And so I looked Lauren up, and I seen her pictures, and, you know, just looked at her profile, and I didn't really think anything else about it. Well, a couple days later, I was living at the home at the time, and my dad had just gotten home from work, and he had been on the phone with my grandmother. And he told my mom and me that he said that she had gotten a foster child. And before he even said anything else, before he said her name, the name Lauren just popped into my head. And the next thing out of his mouth was, her name is Lauren. And I just thought, oh my gosh, that's so weird. And this girl actually had a very unique and specific name, and there wasn't a doubt in my mind that it wasn't the same girl. And I went back and looked at pictures, and I actually looked at the exact same pictures that I'd looked at a few days earlier. And I started looking like in the background and the rooms that she was in, and I recognized my granny's house in those pictures. And I just thought it was so weird because I didn't realize it at first. And then I was actually in preschool with this girl, and I had been in elementary school with her brother. And I just thought it was so weird because, you know, I had went to school with her, and then my grandmother actually lives like an hour away. So for her to end up living with my grandmother after all of this, I just thought it was very odd. And it was kind of cool the way it worked out. But so that's my first story. My second story is that about 8 years ago, I was going to prom with my boyfriend, and we're married now. So this is a fun story that we like to tell people. The week before prom, we had been out to eat with some friends, and we had just been talking about different things. And that night, whenever I went to sleep, I had a dream about a tornado. And in my dream, my boyfriend, me, and a bunch of our friends were all living in this house together. And we didn't know, or I didn't know where exactly we were, but we were just living in this house. And I remember in my dream, my boyfriend was like pulling me away, and I looked around and I could see, you know, like wind blowing things around, and I realized that there was a tornado that actually had came and was destroying everything, and he was pulling me toward this room so that we could be safe, and we were in with a bunch of people. Well, that was on a Sunday night. On Saturday night, that's whenever his prom was. And at the time, we lived about an hour apart from each other. And the place, they didn't have prom at their school, but they had it at a building. It was actually about halfway for both of us. So we had already went out to eat, and then we had got to this place that had like a ballroom, it had a theater, and his prom was set up in the ballroom. And we had been there about an hour and a half, and then all of a sudden that they made an announcement that we all had to go back toward the center of the building, and we were shoved into hallways, into dressing rooms, into pretty much anywhere that we could get, because 3 tornadoes had hit the city while we were at prom. So we were literally being ushered and pulled and stuffed into these rooms just to stay safe from the tornado. And I remember, I think it took a little while for it to come back to me that I had the dream about the tornadoes the week before, but it was literally almost the exact same thing happening in my dream as what happened at the prom. Thankfully, none of us got hurt. We all got home safe. They kept us there until the tornadoes passed, but unfortunately we did have to spend 2 hours of our prom locked in a closet with a bunch of other people. It was very uncomfortable. We had forgotten, actually we didn't forget our phones. We had said that it was going to be our night, and we left our phones in our car, and they wouldn't let us out of the building, so we had no way of contacting anybody. So it was fun. It was memorable. So another story that I have is actually a ghost story. So ever since I was little, my grandmother, this is a different grandmother than in the last story. That was my dad's mom. This is my mom's mom. So my grandmother, I don't know, there's always been something about her house that has terrified me. Even whenever I was little, I didn't necessarily see anything. It was just I would get these awful feelings. And even when I stayed with my grandmother till I was probably at least 10, 11 years old, I was scared to sleep by myself. So I would end up sleeping in the floor in my grandparents' room just because I was terrified. I remember there was one night, and I was probably around 12 when this happened. I may have been a little bit younger, I'm not sure, but I remember falling asleep on the couch in the living room, and they had all the lights off, and I just keep remembering that the front door, like something around that door was absolutely terrifying to me. Like, it scared me so bad, and I was just laid there frozen. Like, it's just like I knew something was there, but I couldn't see it. And I eventually got up crying, and I ran to my mama and papa's bedroom door, and I started knocking on their door, and I said, please just let me sleep in here. I said, I don't need a blanket, I don't need anything, just let me sleep in here, I'll be okay. I said, I can't do it. So I slept in there, and I was fine. So a few years later, we were in the process of moving, and we ended up having to stay with my grandparents for a couple weeks. And during those couple weeks, I stayed in one room by myself, and my grandparents had their own room, of course, and then my mom and dad had a room. And there was a couple nights that I would wake up and the computer would be on. And my mama and papa are these, they're old-fashioned people, and they're the people that they like to turn off all the lights, they like to turn off all the TVs, they like to turn off everything that would use any bit of electricity at all. So I knew it was not normal for the computer to be left on, and the computer was in my room. So the first couple nights that it happened, I was just like, that's really odd, because I know the computer wasn't turned on. And then I was laying in bed one night, and I was awake really late into the night. And then all of a sudden, the computer just comes on by itself. Like, it's completely off. The monitor's off. The hard drive is off. Everything is off. And then it just powers up and lights up by itself. And I freak out, and I was afraid to get up and walk anywhere. So I had texted my mom in the other room. I was like, are you awake? Please come in here if you're awake. And she unfortunately was already asleep, so I had to suffer this in silence by myself, and I was freaking out. And at that point, I was probably maybe 14, so I was still young enough to get freaked out really easy. So then, a couple years after that, we were in the process of moving again, so we had to stay with my mama and papa again, but for this time it was a little bit of a longer period of time. And my grandmother's mom was actually living with her as well, because she was really bad in health. So she got one bedroom, my mom and dad got the other, and then I ended up with the couch most nights. And this went on for about 6 weeks. And I remember one night I had woke up, and the light from my great-grandmother's room was shining down the hallway, because she was afraid of the dark. So she didn't want to sleep in the dark, so she always left a light on, and it was shining down the hallway. And my mom at this time had a dog that hated anybody except her. It's not her fault, though. She was abused, and she was actually a rescue puppy, so she didn't trust just anybody. And this dog, for whatever reason, absolutely hated me. She did not like me. She wouldn't hardly come around me. She didn't want to have anything to do with me. So this night, I had woke up, and I remember just waking up, and I was facing a wall that didn't have anything on it. And I remember seeing this silhouette of it looked like an older woman and a young boy. And I say a silhouette, but it's like I somehow knew that they were African American, and I live in the South, so I feel like they were not necessarily slaves, but maybe the help, as they called it. And I didn't get a terrible feeling, but anything like that freaks me out, so of course I freaked out. Well, I tried to chalk it up to just being a dream. But the odd thing is that whenever I woke up and got fully awake, the dog was laying or sitting at my head in the floor, and I had my hand down and I was petting her, and she was shaking and whimpering like she was scared to death. And that's how I knew that it was real, because the dog seen it too, and she was freaked out enough that she needed comfort from me, which she did not like at all whatsoever. So then, a couple nights later, my boyfriend had brought me home with his brother. We had all been out doing something, and they had brought me home, and my boyfriend had backed into the drive to where his rear view mirror, he could look in his rear view mirror and see my mama's front door. And then me and my boyfriend were standing a little bit farther out, and I was talking to my boyfriend, and I see him just kind of look over my shoulder real odd. And I said, what is it? What's wrong? He said, nothing. I just thought I seen something, but I didn't. It's fine. So he gets in the car and leaves, and then he calls me, and he's like, you're never going to believe what Quentin, which is his brother, just told me. I said, what? He said, you remember whenever you asked me what was wrong, whenever I looked weird, and you asked me what was wrong? I said, yeah. He said, well, listen to what Quentin just saying. And Quentin said that he had looked in his rearview mirror, and he seen a woman standing at the door, and he said that he thought it was my grandmother. So he just turned around to look at her, and whenever he turned around, she was gone. And that was the exact same thing that my husband had seen. And whenever they explained it to me, it was the exact same thing that I had seen that night. So ever since then, I still get eerie feelings in my mama's house. Anything like that freaks me out, whether it's good vibes, bad vibes. Any ghostly vibes freak me out. So, and my husband's the same way. So that's another story that we like to share. But if y'all have any questions, just email me, and I really hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for listening.
Ooh, spooky.
Oh, wow. Mindy, thank you so
Mindy,
much.
it feels like you,
She's sensitive.
She's
sensitive. I think
that tornado is wild.
Also, the earlier story she told us about, sort of like thinking of a high school classmate with a specific name, and then seeing that your grandmother had been fostering them. That was really, I think that is
Isn't that so wild when that happens? Where it's just something's in the air.
And then dreaming about the tornado, then having it. That happened to me. I think I shared on the podcast where I dreamed that I was getting new coworkers, and then the next week I did.
Really?
I was just
I don't know if you did share that. That's wild.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah. But, and then I think it was so funny that the dog that hated you.
Oh my God, that's a big sign that something is there.
I was just shivering.
That should be enough proof for any court of okay, ghosts exist. This shithead dog, a wonderful dog, just figuring some stuff out. But
this dog that's really going through a lot.
Ew, and you being so afraid of something around the door.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Truly,
your grandmother's house is
haunted as shit.
Haunted AS.
I also
Thank you.
Just love two stories back to back about some grandmothers.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Grannies.
That was nice.
Grannies.
Let's keep this going, right? Let me pull up another one.
Hey guys from Australia, my name's Hugh, a huge fan of the show. Always good for a laugh, really good. I'm not a great storyteller, so it might sound a bit choppy, but this is the 20th time I've done it, so sorry. I was 11 or 12 on a bus headed to a community pool, and it was a swimming lesson. I was sitting next to a friend of mine, and she'd recently gone through puberty. Well, I don't know about recently, but she had C or D boobs. and she had a bikini on with like a towel wrapped around her. And I was like, oh, can I see the bikini? And she's like, yeah, all right. So she undoes the towel and shows me the bikini, and I start getting like the cold sweats. And you know that feeling when you press your palms into your eyes like really hard, like for a few seconds, and then you remove it and you see stars and it's all a bit like white and hazy? It was like that. But yeah, it was really bizarre. I remember just passing out in my seat, and then I distinctly remember looking down at myself and her in the seat, getting like a bird's eye view, like straight down. And then I remember, but it was still hazy, like when you press your hands into your eyes. I came back. I'm not sure if I just went into shock and had a very specific hallucination, or if I genuinely had an out-of-body experience by being shown a bikini for the first time. Yeah. It's pretty wild. Keep up the great work. My mum has a few stories which I'm going to get her to record and send through too. But yeah, love the work. Have a great day.
Dude, you had an out-of-body experience from looking at tongers for the first time. That's incredible.
Hugh, oh my God.
And you are good at telling a story.
That was great. That was so funny, Hugh, that you... your friend had CRD boobs, and it made you pass out, and then...
Yeah, I wonder, I've got questions. Like, did you come to again?
Oh my God.
Like what happened when you came out of it? I love it. I think you had an out-of-body experience because you saw boobs.
Yeah.
In a bikini for the first time.
I think that he got so excited that his blood pressure dropped, and then he had a psychic boner.
That is so wild. But that idea of puberty,
yes,
right? Like fuck it, making stuff happen.
Oh my God, that's so Hugh.
That is so good, Hugh.
That truly, really delighted me. It was a 90-second story that I laughed almost.
It's perfect.
I laughed a full 60-second of the 90
It
seconds.
feels like from an episode of Pen 15.
Yes. Oh my God, I just love that so much.
I love it.
What an honest moment in like your own puberty.
Yes.
Of getting so excited that you had like. It feels so like junior high to me to be like, to get so excited that you literally have an out-of-body experience because you can't handle all the hormones,
all the emotion and the hormones where you're just like, I gotta get out of here for a second.
Are some tickle
bitties. Yeah, that is so funny.
Oh God, Hugh, I love that
it
so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, have your mom send us her stories.
I hope they're about tits too. Oh my God, that really, I almost passed out because I was laughing so hard that my head hurt. I loved it. Oh God.
We were just imagining your out of body you looking down at her tits.
Yeah.
I don't need to say that.
Maybe you just wanted a better view of her tits.
Oh, Hugh, thank you. That was perfect.
My God.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah. Let's listen to another one, Bat.
Okay.
Hi, Betsy. Hi, Marcy. My name is Blake, and I am so excited to tell you my spooky story. Now, for some background context, I was not raised in a religious household. My siblings and I were basically given the choice of what we wanted to do with our religious aspirations. I chose the heathen route. I am totally not religious. I respect people that are religious, but it's just not for me. However, this story really, really turned that on its head. My mother was raised in a household that religion was it was important, but not too important. She'd go to church every Sunday. They followed, the Bible the best they could. But their philosophy was, if you're a good person, you're a good person. If you do something bad, atone for it. But, everyone's going to make mistakes. That's how my mother's upbringing was. My father's was completely different. He was raised in rural Mexico. He followed a very traditional Catholic upbringing. His grandparents brought him up through the church, and he was very much instilled with the tenements of the Bible. He did not really have a way of expressing himself until he left Mexico. He said that when he was going through the church, it was very, very hard to find, pleasure and to find happiness. So he fell out of the church, I would say, around 13 or 14 years old. My father eventually immigrated to the United States in the 1970s. He told me some crazy stories from when he was in Mexico to when he was going from Mexico to Texas. He saw aliens, ghosts, spirits, demons. My father was totally into the paranormal, and I think he was more susceptible to the paranormal because he had a really, really bad upbringing. Those stories for another day, but I believe his kind of obsession with the paranormal was passed down to me. So it's like a hereditary kind of trait. For this story, I was about 2 weeks old, so all the information I got was from my mother and my father. So let's begin the story. My mother had heard me screaming in the bedroom. I just woke up. She went in, she got me, she changed me, and she started to feed me. I would not take the bottle. She was having a very hard time getting me to eat. For some reason that day, I was very, very cranky. I was screaming my head off. She was very worried that something had happened, that I was getting maybe, sick, or I was getting some kind of cold. But she tried everything. She tried to soothe me. She tried to rock me. She said she remembers that my screams were getting so loud that she was becoming very, very scared. She had never heard a baby cry as loud and as hard as I had. My screaming got so loud that my grandmother overheard it, came over, and tried to soothe me to sleep. Nothing was working. Eventually, they called the neighbor, who was a nurse. She came over and was doing kind of like a checkup over me, and she advised my mother to take me to the hospital. So my mother packed me up. She got me in the car. She drove over to my father's, and she brought me inside, and she was discussing the matter with my father. And my father said he took one look at me and knew something was wrong, not medically, but something. He told my mother he would be right back. He picked me up out of the cart, and he basically carried me in his arms. My mother, who was a very, very protective person, had never seen my father pick up a baby without someone picking it up first and giving it to him. He was very much the person who was scared of holding babies because he thought he'd break them. So he picked me up, took me over to his neighbor's house, and his neighbors were three kindly old ladies from the old country. They had basically came up the same time my father had, and my father had known these women forever. According to him, they were the neighbors in Mexico. They were just sweet old ladies, but they were very religious and very, very fearful of anything malevolent. So they came out. He took me over, and my mother remembers going up to the door, and the women opened the door. One of them did, and she had this look on her face when she saw my father, and she was speaking Spanish very, very fast, and basically told him to come in, invited my mother in. My father handed over me to the woman, and she carried me into the kitchen. Now, like I said before, my mother was a very protective woman. She did not like people touching her baby, and she basically pushed past my father and ran to the kitchen to make sure everything was okay. In the kitchen was two other women. They had laid me down on the kitchen table, and I was still screaming. One of the women went to the refrigerator, and the other one came to my mother and to my father, and my father and mother were speaking to each other, but the woman kind of interrupted and started talking with my father. My mother's not bilingual, but what was told to me from my father was that something was going on with me that they needed to deal with right away. This was not a medical emergency, and that to prepare myself and to get his rosary. So they went and got my mother a rosary. She held it in her hands. My father got his rosary, and the women took out 3 large eggs. This is a part of the story that really, really makes the hair on my back stand up. They took the eggs and they started rubbing it on my arms, my legs, my head, and one of the women held the Bible and started reading from it. My mother and father both described that moment as being very, very tense. My mother said it was like standing right next to someone that was very dangerous. She didn't know what it was. She had a bad feeling, and she said it was almost like before a really bad storm happened. We're from the Midwest, so when tornadoes happen, we kind of had that feeling. She said it was that kind of feeling. My father wouldn't take his eyes off me. He knew something was going on. And as the woman kept praying and rubbing the eggs all over me, I started screaming even louder and louder and louder. And my mother was afraid that like a blood vessel was going to burst in my throat, or something was going to happen. I was going to pass out. I was going to have a heart attack and die. My father eventually had to like take her by her hands and say, we can't interrupt this process. Something's really, really going on. Eventually the room got really, like, it just started building and building and building. And the woman who was reading from the Bible kept reading the same passage according to my father. And then all of a sudden it was like, bam, like something just hit. And the room went totally silent. I stopped crying. My mother and father said it was like something had passed, like a storm had passed. Like it was crazy how much tension had just been released. My mother went to me, and she was really, really, really upset. She got very, 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 very anxious about me. She was very worried that I had passed out, but she came over to me and I was sound asleep. I was sleeping. She picked me up, and the women came over to me, and they did something that's been done for a while now in our family. They took their hands and they brushed over my face, said a little prayer, and told my mother and my father good luck, and kind of pulled my father back and explained some stuff to him. My mother did not stick around for that explanation. She put me in the car, took me to the hospital, and when she got to the hospital, they said that I was perfectly fine. I didn't have an ear infection. I did not have a cold. They just surmised that I was a cranky baby. And after that, I did not cry like that. I was perfectly fine. She said during the whole car ride, I slept. She took me home after the doctors, and I was fine. I woke up a couple hours later, hungry, and everything. She said that was one of the moments of her life that she could never pinpoint or explain. My father, however, had a different explanation. The women had told him that someone had put a curse on me. Now, we don't know who, but we assume one of the people from Mexico had done it. My father had a quorum with a relative before he left for Mexico, and he assumed that to that day that she had really set out to destroy him, because he apparently had done something to wrong her and she was not happy. My father and them discussed what they should do, and they were given a rosary, and my father brought it to me. I still have it to this day. It's in my room, and it's been a part of basically my family history since. One other thing. When the old woman opened the door and saw my father, she told my mother, she told my father, I apologize. She told my father that she had seen a mist behind him. a very black mist. When she brought me in, she was rubbing the eggs on my shoulders and arms, and the mist began to materialize. She said she saw an old woman's face. It was smiling, but then once the reading of the Bible began, the face became almost demon-like. She told my father to protect me as much as possible, shield me from anything that was malevolent that could possibly possess me again. And she firmly believes that what happened to me was no accident. It was no sickness. Someone had cursed me. So I didn't know if it was my father having a wrongdoing with his relative. I didn't know if maybe I was just an asshole infant. I don't know if I was just sick, but it's one of those family stories that we talk about to this day. It's very fun to bring up on a first date. Men love that. So that was my story, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to hear it. If you have any questions, just email me. Again, thank you guys for the podcast. Have a lovely day, and have a spooky day. Bye.
Holy shit. My pants are filled to the brim with fucking poop that has been scared out of me. That's horrifying.
It was terrifying. I had chills so bad. Betsy, I showed you.
Yeah, I saw Marcy's chills. They were huge chills. Jesus. Oh my God.
Who fucking curses a baby?
I don't.
You know what I have? I take it back. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Marcy, you always curse
I'm always
babies.
like, curse.
Whoa.
Whenever.
That story's incredible.
That was a truly amazing story, Blake. Thank you so much for sending that in.
I wonder, Blake, has anything else, I guess you would have said, like anything weird happened since that? Like, were there little moments where you're like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and I ate a piece of pizza and it tasted like ash or anything like that?
Just like a normal moment.
You know, just one of those normal moments. Whoa.
Ash pizza.
God damn. The old lady's smiling face and then turned to demon face. I can't even.
It's too... that really scared me.
Marcy and I were fucking screaming. We didn't record ourselves.
Screaming because
we got some heat for it.
We know. Everyone knows with the format of
I want to scream into the microphone when I hear this shit.
It's just very hard for people to process.
It's horrifying. I know. But there was a lot of,
I mean, that
shook me to my core. I feel weaker after listening to that fucking story.
I also want to know, what do the eggs do? Do you think they just sort of were like another baby vessel to draw?
Thing?
I thought of that like they
Marcy.
Like that's another like thing to draw and then trap something inside of.
Oh, Marcy.
What?
That's good. I didn't think that at all. Ooh. I just thought like, what do we got in the fridge? We got some eggs.
I guess they would be cold too, maybe.
Did they crack them?
I assume they were rubbing the like intact egg.
I thought they cracked them and they were just rubbing egg on them.
Oh,
but I don't know,
Blake.
Oh my gosh, Blake! I'm blown away. That truly. I feel like I feel like I'm 10 years older than I am now.
I think that's a great story to tell on a first date because it really like susses out like how's this person going to respond.
That's a huge how they respond is.
I also like couldn't help but think that like the thing about religion is it's sort of like you said about your father that it kind of like fucked him up a little bit from being so like he was never happy, but also it does on the flip side give people a lot of tools to handle stuff. It's a really double-edged sword, huh?
Yeah, it's tough because you can see why people really enjoy it.
Yeah,
but then you can also see some stuff.
It's complex. If used correctly, great. If
wonderful.
Used for bad. Hey,
and a lot of mostly. I don't need to get into it. Y'all know how I feel.
We all know how Betsy.
I'm over it.
Okay.
That was incredible.
That was incredible.
I'm
Blake.
Truly.
Wow. Woof.
Woof.
Also, do you feel differently about eggs now?
Yeah, are they your favorite food?
Or do you not love
Or
egg?
you're like, I don't need that.
You're like, honestly, it just brings back bad memories. Okay, I'm going to read one to you now,
Okay, great.
Betsy. Title of this is My Story.
Oh,
I love that.
my story.
Hi, Betsy. Hi, Marcy. My name is April, and I really enjoy your podcast.
Thank you.
I started this email last week, and it has taken quite some time to finish it. The first week of September is a tough one for me. Oops, sorry. It obviously takes us a long time to get to emails. That's me saying that, Marcy.
Oh, yes.
Okay, my dad was born on September 3rd, 1957, and we lost him on September 9th, 2018 after a prolonged illness.
I'm sorry.
For the last week or so of my dad's life, he was unresponsive. And around this time, weird things were happening around the house. Whoa. I was off work as I was on maternity leave with my new... I was on maternity leave.
Maternity.
No, it said mat leave.
Oh.
I was on maternity leave with my newborn and had... sorry, I cannot read. I was off work as I was on maternity
Marcy,
leave with my
glasses
newborn and home full-time with my 3-year-old. Things were often not in the place that I left them.
Whoa.
And would be in places my toddler could not have reached. In some cases, even with a stool. The day that we experienced the most things was the day before my dad died. September 8th, 2008. My sister and I spent the day at the hospital as we were sure this was the day he would finally go. We stayed all day and through the night until about 11 p.m. Around this time, a nurse came in to speak with us and said that we should just leave. As hard as it will be, she said, he is hanging on and she did not think he would go while we were there. That being said, Brooke and I had newborns 5 and 3 months, and maybe this has something to do with it. We reluctantly went home. I got the baby settled and crawled into bed. Not long after I did, my husband got up to use the washroom, and I heard a sound like he walked into something. So I got up. He was pissed that the doorway I just walked through that had the vacuum in it that we keep in the corner. He thought I did it, and of course I did not. Matt came back to bed. A little while later, 2 or 3 hours, he got up again, and all I heard him say was, "What the fuck?"
What?
My 3-year-old has one of those tricycles that have handles and a canopy, so you can just push the bike when they give up and don't want to pedal anymore.
My nieces have those.
The thing with this bike is that if it's not being pedaled, it makes click, click, click noises when you push it. Now, this bike was sitting inside the front door, and that was just to the right of my bedroom door. This bike was now sitting at the end of my bed, and Matt walked into it.
No.
How did it get there?
No.
The clicking noise it made was really loud, and neither of us heard it. At this time, we were awake, and there was no hope in hell of getting back to sleep as we were freaked out.
Fuck.
The house had an odd feeling to it. We could not understand what was going on. So we made coffee and sat on the couch watching TV. This was about an hour or so, and then all of a sudden the smoke detectors went off.
What the fuck?
There was nothing that could have done this. We were not cooking or anything. Matt got them to stop, and my heart was racing. I was so done with this weird shit. And I said that I think we should just get out of the house today. I was wandering around the house trying to keep myself busy. I recall looking at the clock. It was about 6:20 a.m. The phone rang. It was the nurse that was looking after my dad, and he had died at 6:12 on September 9th, 2008. We talked for a bit, and then I went and told my husband. To this day, he thinks it was my dad trying to get our attention. What do you think? Cheers, April.
Oh my God.
Wow,
Yes,
April.
it was. I think so.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And maybe he was just like trying to fuck with your husband a little bit too.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I'm gonna make him stub
I'm
his toe.
gonna razz him a little bit.
Wow.
Oh, that's incredible. And everything must have stopped then after that.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't. That's
wild. Really wild.
Ooh. The bike really destroyed me.
Yes.
What a horrifying thing to wake up
like first
to.
the vacuum being in the
in the doorway.
Yeah, that's
very
pretty
strange.
crazy. And then wow.
Ooh, the bike. Ooh.
Yes.
That's so scary.
All right.
Good story.
That was a really good story.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was your dad being like, okay.
Yeah, April, that's, I don't know.
I love you, and I'm going to go now.
Here's some stuff. Bye-bye.
Here's some stuff.
Here's my favorite vacuum and my bike.
And my favorite bike, and I love
also,
smoke detectors.
I do think that sometimes it is easier for people to pass on without, like,
everyone
being there, because I don't know, like, it's one of those things, like, some people, like, you know, when you're hurt, some people want someone to help them and some people want everyone to go away.
Yes.
And it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's just easier to let go alone.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really good.
Okay, I'm going to read one now.
Hell yeah.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Hi, Betsy and Marcy. I don't have too many experiences myself, though I might save my ghost in khakis and story about a funny feeling I had that led to my mother revealing her own childhood ghost story for another email.
Oh my gosh.
What? Yes, send it to us, please. But my dad has some pretty interesting ones I wanted to share. His stories are my favorite, probably because he doesn't really seem the type to believe in spooky stuff. He worked as a history teacher at a high school for 26 years and was also a coach the entire time he was there. He's super fit and has always been a runner. So one weekend... Marcy's into your dad. So
Daddy.
Daddy. That.
Daddy.
So one weekend when it was pouring down rain and he couldn't jog around our neighborhood, he decided to take his keys to the school gym and run laps there. Since it was the weekend and the weather sucked, no one was there but him. The custodian had already pushed in the bleachers, so they were completely flat against the wall, and he had the entire court to himself to jog. Sorry, my eye's itchy. My dad started running his laps, and after a while, he heard a loud boom that sounded like someone was behind the bleachers and had banged on it loudly from the inside.
Ooh.
Fuck, dude. I don't know much about bleachers, but I'm almost positive that once they're pushed in like that, there's no room for a person to be hiding behind them. Either way, it wasn't a school day, and if a person was really back there, that meant they would have had to be chilling in the locked gym all weekend after successfully hiding from the custodians who locked up. That's horrifying,
yes.
too. Okay, knowing that and being a bit of a skeptic, my dad decided to be cheeky and bang back one time on the bleachers with his fist when he ran by. Immediately after, he heard boom, boom, and whatever the fuck was behind the bleachers banged back at him twice. Ooh, whenever my dad tells this story, he always says that after that, he just kept on running right out the fucking door. Oh my God. He said another time he was the first in the gym and turned on all the lights with that weird key that's kind of hook shaped because I guess some gyms don't have flip switches, and quickly went to his office to get something. When he came back, all the lights had been turned back off, even though whoever did it would have needed that weird hook key. And he was alone. Oh, there are a few more spooky stories from the high school where my parents worked, but the bleacher one is the weirdest and always creeps my dad out because he can't explain it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for putting out the podcast and consistently being hilarious and creepy. I was so fucking excited to see you guys live in Austin, but I found a stray pit bull the same day and couldn't drive up from San Antonio. It's okay though, the pup is now a member of the family. Yay! And I'm going to wherever the hell you have your next live show. Lots of love from Texas, Alyssa. She had it spelled out, too. Alyssa.
Like she spelled it out
LOL.
phonetically?
Yeah.
Oh,
awesome stories. And thanks for saving that pup.
Yeah, that's really nice. I would say that I'm glad that you were able to save a pit bull.
Me too.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's part of your family.
Me too. Ooh, haunted bleachers. That's horrifying.
That is, I mean, there's just so much like, you know, we've talked about poltergeists on the show before, and like with that much,
high school,
just like a lot of energy there.
High school energy.
Or some kids fingering each other behind the
Like,
bleachers.
lay off.
Good.
We've been sneaking in to this high school to finger each other. Come
We're
on.
fingering each other.
I'm going to finger her, and then she can finger my butthole.
We love fingers.
Wing.
I love that your zaddy knocked back, though.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, that's like fun to be like, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I'll knock back and then be like,
And then be
never
like,
mind.
yeah, never mind.
Gotta go. Bye.
Am's gray. Wow, thank you for sending that in.
Oh my gosh.
I feel high schools are like full of
gotta be full of like.
full of energy.
Did you ever watch My So-Called Life?
I never did.
It's so good.
I bet I'd like it.
I love it
should
so much.
watch
I
it.
still watch it like every couple of years. I'll rewatch the whole because
I
it's
do that
only
with Wonder Years.
it's only one season long.
Really?
Unfortunately,
Claire Danes?
Claire Danes.
Claire Danes is in it.
Jared Leto.
Uh-oh.
It's so good.
Okay.
But there's an episode that really kind of jumps the shark, but it's about their Halloween at their high school, and there's a Halloween dance.
Fun.
And about this like kid who died, and it's like a little like spooky and
Yeah.
ghosty, but it's like, well, this is not what this show is about.
Remember they did that with Dawson's Creek? There's
just
like,
like,
a
wait,
serial
this is
killer in
not
that
how-
world, and it's like, wait, what?
What? This is not like. Also, it's like maybe a crazy thing to do in season 1 of your show. Like,
Yeah,
come
that's
on.
bold. You gotta be at least in season 17 to pull that shit off.
You gotta be
A
just,
musical number and the Halloween episode? Nuh-uh.
okay.
17.
There's one more story, so we're gonna listen to it. You
One
ready?
more. I'm so ready.
Okay, so Betsy mentioned we can send in weird experiences with psychics. I definitely have a weird experience. So this was a few years ago. When I was in college, I used to look up, things that were going on Meetup. So I found a seance advertised. I think it was the night before Halloween, something like that. So it sounded like a fun, spooky thing to do. I had no idea what they meant by seance, but I was just like, yeah, let's do it. So I invited like my spookiest friend, who I know she's really into tarot cards and really spiritual and everything. Like, I've always been pretty skeptical, but I just enjoy everything. So we went together. It was like $5 at the door or something, and it was in like an old like veterans home, community center, like Knights of Columbus type place. It was just super weird. On Long Island, in the middle of just like some random small town. And so we get there. I think everyone there was women like us, but everyone was a lot older than us. Like, we were in our early 20s, and I think like the person closest in age to us would have been like late 30s, and most people were like 40s, 50s, 60s, like, so it was very unexpected, but I was like, cool, whatever. So it was set up kind of like what you see in movies for like an AA meeting, like just like crappy chairs in a circle, everyone just sitting around, and there were 3 women there who were mediums, and definitely some of them seem more like legit than others. So first I was called out, and she said, one of the mediums that didn't seem so legit said to me like, oh, I see a chariot behind you, and that means like you have to make a decision. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know, it sounded like a bunch of bullshit to me because, like, I mean, obviously I have to make decisions, everyone does. So whatever, I was a little, like, sitting back in my chair, like, whatever, $5 for this chariot bullshit. But then, my friend gets called out by a different medium. and she seemed a little more legit. So she is like drawn to my friend, and she says, like, I have someone here for you. And she's doing this really, like, vague stuff that psychics do, like saying, she says, oh, you knew her from something. It wasn't school. Like, you don't know her from class, but it was something adjacent to school. Like a beauty school or a club or something. And I can see that my friend is looking really, like, affected. She's just like, okay. The woman keeps speaking. Like, she's not giving her anything back, but the woman keeps speaking, and she says, during her life, she had, like, a physical disability, and maybe even she was in a chair. And now I'm seeing her, and she wants you to know that she's not in her chair anymore, and she's not suffering. She doesn't have any problems. Like painful problems that she had during life. And also something about how her hair was like a crazy color, like, oh, she loved to dye her hair, blah, blah, blah. And the last thing she said was, she wants you to know that you don't need to feel guilty. Like, maybe something happened, a miscommunication toward the end of her life, and you don't need to feel guilty. Like, everything is okay, and she forgives you. And my friend just looks like she's really, like, taking this in. She's just like, okay, yeah. Like, and she looked really affected by it, so I had an idea of why that could have affected her, but afterward I spoke to her, and she said, yeah, like, you remember this girl who just died like a couple months before. She was our age, so it was like really tragic, and she had a disability, I'm not sure what, but she was in a motorized wheelchair the entire time that my friend knew her. And apparently right before she died, she tried to call my friend, and my friend missed the call. And she always felt like very guilty about that, because I guess she saw that she was calling, and she just was like, oh, I'll call her later. And then she died that morning. And so my friend was like, that was her coming to me and saying, like, stop feeling guilty. Because it's not your fault that you didn't pick up the phone. And yeah, I did not know what to think from that, just from signing up for a spooky seance and coming out with that. But yeah, I'm sorry if that was pretty long, but I hope it's worth it.
Oh my God.
Are you a skeptic still?
Well, okay, so this was from Tara, and she says, I was getting a little emotional, and I forgot to include that everything the medium said was correct. My friend knew her from a club at school, and the crazy hair, the bubbly personality, everything lined up with her departed friend.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's incredible. Thank you for sending that.
Really incredible.
So yeah, I wonder.
Also, like $5, that's a good deal.
Shit, man, we gotta go.
Long Island's got like steals of deals when it comes to
mediums.
Oh yeah. I love that she like had the bad one. It was like a chariot.
I love it. Like, yeah, this was full of shit. I wonder what that I wonder if a big decision you had to make. Did you? I just turned into fucking Yoda right there. Whoa.
Oh, dude, you look good as Yoda.
Do I?
Nice robe.
Thank you. It's comfortable.
God, these were so great.
These are so awesome. Thank you all so much for sending them.
Thank you.
Please keep sending them. Whatever it is, we love them all.
And sorry if we take almost
a year.
So
sorry. We're trying to get better at it. We want to try to get more of these episodes.
Yeah, we're gonna start
cooking as well.
We're gonna start doing more listener episodes so that we can really share.
Because there's such fucking cool, awesome, spooky happy, sad,
Yeah.
incredible stories, and we love them. Like we're so pumped we get to hear all of your stories.
I will say sometimes if the story is a little longer, like over 5 minutes, that's why we don't always get to.
Yeah, with a guest,
Yes.
especially.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like if they're long, like see if you can break it up into different ones. But these are so good. Guys, send your stories to us at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Tell some of your friends. Help spread the
subscribe,
word. Rate,
review. Yeah.
And guys,
We appreciate you guys so much.
we love it so much.
Your stories are so fucking awesome, and
You bunch of
they make our
creepy-
days.
You bunch of creepy freaks, and we love it.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for listening to A Funny Feeling.
If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to share, please send us a voice memo, or you can email us just a letter at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com. I'm Marcy.
I'm Betsy, and don't shit your pants.
That was a HeadGum podcast.